What's up, Throttlers? Aristotle Full Throttle here, and I am with my very special guests, Sam Boxleitner and Lee Boxleitner, the Boxleitner brothers. They make horror films, and what better time to have them on than in October, or which I've renamed Boxtober.
BOXTOBER!
Let's talk about it, fellas.
Yes.
Did you see?
What?
What are we talking about?
I want to talk about it.
Couldn't you be more specific?
Yes. It.
What?
I want to. I saw it. Did you see it?
I saw a couple things.
Are we
Yeah.
being
Just coming in
existential
here.
right now? Is that
I think it is a great thing.
Yeah.
Oh, it!
Have you seen it?
Twice.
What was your favorite part of it?
I don't know if I can say it. Wait, are we talking about the book? I saw the book.
You saw the book?
It was like on a shelf.
Did you read the book?
Yes.
Wow, that back of it.
In all honesty, we know the book.
No, yeah, absolutely. We actually, we were able to go to New Orleans last year.
Narlands.
Narlands for
That's what they say.
the Narlands Horror Film Festival
Which,
there.
if
Awesome.
you have a chance to go to that, go.
Yeah, it was
It's
fantastic.
amazing.
So we were there showing our film, our short film, Rupert. It's like a 3-day journey if you're not like just plowing through. And we chose to listen to the unabridged version of it.
Read by Steven Weber.
Stephen Weber, who nails it.
So
Oh, that's
good.
cool.
Yeah, and it literally took the entire trip there, the entire trip back, plus another 11 minutes sitting in my parking garage.
Which is like one of the most painful 11 minutes
Right.
of our entire life.
Yeah.
You just driven like 20
Yeah.
hours.
I want to get out. I want
I'm
to get
not
out.
gonna
and go home.
get out now.
But I need to know how it ends.
That's how good it is.
That's how good it is.
It's freaking phenomenal. And the movie does a really, really good
Yeah.
job at adapting what it needed to and taking certain bits out. Because there's certain bits of the book where you're like, we were sitting in silence, just kind of uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Right.
Just like, no one should have to.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I guess I had read
this.
the abridged version earlier.
I think I did too.
Like when I
actually.
first read it, and then after listening to the unabridged version, I'm going like, wait, what?
Right.
In the book, the little girl has sex with all of them.
All of them.
All the kids.
In a
this.
sewer.
In a sewer, right?
Stephen King, he uses his words.
Yeah.
Well.
But
Yeah.
the movie doesn't have any of that, and it's good for it.
And also the book, the way it's structured, I know it bounces back and
Yes.
forth between the adult versions of the
Yeah.
characters and the child versions of the
Yeah.
characters.
This guy, Rob Galuzzo,
Very cool dude.
very cool dude. He brought up a good point where, because he's such a fan of the book, like we are, when the adult story wasn't happening in the movie, it felt like something was missing.
Right.
But if you just look at it as a solitary movie
Yeah.
and forget about that, it's a freaking great movie.
I really enjoyed it. I mean, you can check out the review on the channel, but I was saying how it felt like Stand By Me meets like Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah.
Meets The Goonies in a lot of ways.
Yeah,
But-
absolutely.
And there's a specific feeling, like in a movie Stand By Me, another Stephen King,
Another Stephen King, yeah.
adaptation. There's like a specific feeling that he has in the books
Yeah.
that are adapted into movies.
Well, he
That
nails
carries over.
relationships and the inner workings of the communication of people. And most movies don't get that. I mean, as good as The Shining was, which is a brilliant film on its own, you read the book and you're just like, oh, man, in my opinion, the book's a million times better. And I love Kubrick. Anything Kubrick ever did, I love it. And I love The Shining. It was one of my favorite movies.
Stephen King hates The Shining.
Stephen King
He
hates The
hates
Shining.
it,
And I can see why now after growing up and, well, partly growing up, physically at least growing up. You know, after and then reading it with that perspective, going like, oh God, I see how this book is way more nuanced and leveled, and has more levels than the film. Same with Pet Sematary. Loved that movie when I was a kid. Like Zelda, the sister Zelda,
Oh,
like
terrifying.
just had me having nightmares forever.
That was pretty creepy.
But again, the book is like they can't capture Stephen King in film usually, and I think it did a marvelous job of doing that. And then also, we're slightly on subject, Gerald's Game, more.
Which, if you haven't seen Gerald's Game, I'm not going to get too heavily into it, but it's amazing. You should watch it.
It's on Netflix. You have no excuses.
It's not your typical horror film.
Yeah.
But that's what's so cool about Stephen King. There's this whole thing going on with It that has been driving me crazy, where people are saying it's not a horror movie because there's too much of coming of age story and it's a comedy and there's all this stuff mixed in with it, so they're like, it can't be horror because I enjoyed it, and
Right.
like it wasn't just stupid.
That's a thing. Like
That's
horror,
a thing.
Horror gets kind of pigeonholed as not. It's kind of like comedy too. Comedies and horrors aren't considered legitimate films.
They're not taken seriously.
But they're not like recognized by the Academy, say.
I think it should be recognized this year. I mean, honestly, I mean, it's one of the. It
broke every record in the horror industry.
I thought it was a really good film.
Yeah.
Period.
And I mean, the cinematography, the music, I mean, the direction, the kids, the performances.
Yeah,
the
the
girl who plays Beverly, I
performances.
can't remember her name offhand. She's going to be a huge star.
I'm really worried about the sequel, though,
Why?
because this movie, because they were kids, you couldn't get Chris Pratt or Jessica Chastain to be these characters. You had to find kids that not a lot of people have seen, except for Finn Wolfhard, who's Stranger Things. But the rest of the kids, you didn't really recognize that much. They're fresh faces, and you put yourself into these characters because you're not like, oh, that's this person, that's this person.
Yeah, exactly.
Horror really benefits from not knowing the people in the movie, because then suddenly the story becomes the star.
Yeah.
And in the sequel, I'm worried because they're going to get anything they ask for.
Well, at least that's what they're talking about already.
They're going to get these actors where you're like, okay, Jake Gyllenhaal, Chris Pratt, all these people, and I think it's going to ruin the feel of the movie.
It's going to take you out of the movie.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like attached to the persona of the actor.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's not the character, and those characters are so rich that you don't need a name behind it. The first one proved the story sells it.
Yeah.
Like you can sell a movie based on a good story, and I hope they learn from that.
You tell them.
I know Warner Brothers watches this. Full circle, back to it.
Yeah.
Thing that's bothering me, everyone's bitching about the CG in that movie.
Yeah.
And if you do your research on that, 90% of the stuff they're bitching about is practical.
It's practical.
Interesting.
It's how well
Like,
the practical effects.
It's because people are so
Spoiler
used to it.
alert for anyone who hasn't seen it, there's a projector scene.
Yes.
And when
That
he
was
pops
cool.
out and he's giant, that was all forced perspective.
Really?
It was done on set.
Yeah, it's brilliant.
Him being that size.
Brilliant. Yeah.
But of course, people are like, that looks too good, it's CG.
I thought for sure, and I was like, well, it's CG, which I'm usually kind of against, but I like it looked really cool. I thought Bill Skarsgård's eyes that go like that, that was just like a nice little touch that they put in post.
I noticed that.
He does that in real life.
Oh, he can do that with his eyeballs.
His whole face contorts, and you think like, there's no
The
way.
smile is the pointy lip
Yeah,
smile.
I saw that.
And
yeah.
it just looks so crisp that you're like, that's got to be CG, right? I mean, I
Right.
can't tell, but it's got to be. No, this guy actually can do that, and he makes his eye go that way, and he makes
Doing
his
that
face.
for like 16 hours, can you imagine that?
Yeah.
But if you've read the book and know what's going to happen in the sequel, it's perfect for why his eyes are kind of disconnected from each other.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was a great touch that I don't remember it being in the book, but if you've read the book, you're just like, oh yeah, that's great.
Beep, beep.
Beep, beep, yeah, good.
Thanks for watching. The Boxleitner brothers will be here all month. Remember to like, share, subscribe to this channel, and turn on those notifications for some more BOXTOBER.
Yeah.
He rewatches Marley and Me every day.
Oh God, I would never watch that. I would never watch that.
We
It would
haven't let him
destroy me.
get to the end yet. There's a new movie coming out. There's a dog character in it, and one of their advertisements is "Spoiler alert: the dog lives." I'm like, well, you ruined that movie for me.
Yeah, great. I will go see that though. Because
You're like, I hear the dog lives.
Wait, Marley's alive though.
Yeah.
yeah, sure.
It's a cute dog.
Just stop it at like 15 minutes before it's over, I guess.
Yeah.
That's what
Well, I never got to the end.
Good.
Yeah.
Good.
I can only imagine how great it is. Though.
It's so great. They are so happy.
They live happily ever after. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
there's no other way for that movie to go. If you watch that movie, I mean, that is obviously the path that they are directing you
the
down.
dog from Air Bud teaches her basketball. It's beautiful.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's great that you can cross movies like
Yeah,
that.
it's,
marketing.
It's gonna be a great sequel. Can't wait to see it. Anyway.